What's good? What's going on, good people? This is a impromptu live session with your boy Double D live in the studio. Um, I just had I don't know, I just had a need and a feel to jump on live here as I get into some of my thoughts, some of the things that I've been contemplating over, over the weekend. So one thing that has crossed my mind and I have thought about very vigorously over the last 2 weeks is um, the health and the welfare of men, right? And ever since, we had these football players that have passed away due to, um, these guys taking their own lives or whatever. And it's just kind of been on my mind. I just kind of have a different thought process and a different feel for how men are viewed in this world, right? And I think what's the most important thing that we need to do first and foremost is we just got to start rallying around one another, right? Men, we have to make other men important, right? We got to do more things than laugh and joke and drink and smoke. We got to find places where we can sit down and have conversation about things that's bothering us or things that's making us happy. Because it's not always bad things that's happening in our lives, right? We just need a place where we can sit down and talk, or get some things off our chest, right? So one of the things that I thought about today was, why do we shut down? Like, why do men shut down? Like, what is that main reason that makes a man shut down completely, right? And one of the things I thought about was, um, when a man opens up and finally reveals his feelings, a lot of times what wind up happening is those feelings wind up getting weaponized against them, right? So I'm gonna just give some of my personal experience, some of the things that I have dealt with over my 53 years on this earth. Um, there were times when I opened up about some things and got some, I felt comfortable opening up and talking about something against something about me, something I was feeling, something that I was going through, and then, before I knew it, um, what I actually opened up about was taken advantage of. Like, it just became weaponized against me. It was, see, I told you this is what you're supposed to be doing. See, I told you if you just listen to me, you wouldn't be going through this. See, I told you had you just taken my advice, you wouldn't be dealing with the things that you're dealing with. And that's generally what happens to most men when we finally open up and talk and reveal our feelings about something. What winds up happening is our feelings and our emotions wind up getting weaponized against us. We wind up being a villain. Really, what winds up happening is we wind up apologizing for something that we were trying to express, right? We wind up having to take on somebody else's emotions and somebody else's feelings when we are trying to express ourselves, right? And I don't use the word vulnerable, right? I don't use vulnerable as a man. One of the guys that I follow that I believe in very, very deep, Jason Wilson, he gave me an explanation. He gave us an explanation on why a man should never use the word vulnerable, right? We should always use the word express or expression, right? Because what vulnerable means is vulnerable means that there is some danger somewhere lurking, somewhere close by, right? That's what danger means. I mean, that's what vulnerable means. Expressive means you're opening up and you're talking and you are giving the person or the people that you're talking to a window into your mind and your heart, right? So expressive is the term that we want to use as men. We don't want to use the term vulnerable, right? We don't want to use vulnerable. And I appreciate everybody that's checking in on TikTok. This is something new that I'm doing on TikTok. So I appreciate it. I'm gonna figure out all the TikTok lingo and how to make how to make this thing work. Because my goal is I just want to uplift men. I just want men to feel important based upon what their own reflection looks like in the mirror, not because somebody patted you on the back. Because that goes without saying, right? Being a man is a thankless job. Like our job is based upon expectation. And whenever we're not doing what the expectation is, we are less than. And that's not true, right? Everybody has their own path to walk. Everybody is moving in their own direction. And just because you're not in a place that you want to be in, or a place that that person thinks you should be in, you are less than. And that's not true. That's not true. You may be behind, or you may feel like there's some different places that you want to be in, or different places that you might want to go, or some things that you might want to accomplish. But that does not make you less than a man, right? And that's what my goal for this platform is. I want men to become more active and more responsible within the men community. Because the better the men are in the community, the better the community is, right? And it does not take away any significance from a woman. And I need for women to understand. Just because I'm talking to men and I'm trying to get men to be the best version of themselves, it does not mean I'm trying to take away anything or any importance from a woman, right? And if you remember this old song by James Brown, it said, "This is a man's world." It is. It's a man's world. But he ends it with, "It don't. It doesn't mean nothing without your woman or your girl." Right? But the most important thing that we need to be focusing on is the mirror. Every man, this is something I want you to do. Focus on the mirror. Get in the mirror. Get in the mirror and have a conversation with yourself. Talk about some of the things that you want to accomplish, right? Even if you're unhappy with yourself, say the stuff out loud. Because once you digest it through your ears, it resonates in your soul and becomes a real thing to you. I preach this to my kids. Say it out loud. Say it out loud. Don't just say it to yourself in your head. Say it out loud because once it hits your ears, it becomes real, and you can process it, and you can digest it, and it becomes something that you can make into a real thing once you say it out loud, right? So I just want to focus on men becoming men. Here, point blank. Let's just talk about how we can become better within our society, within our homes, within our friends, within our families, brothers, uncles, fathers, all those things. That's all I'm focused on. Men, right? Because men make the world go round. Men make the world go round. And again, I will stress this beyond all things. It does not mean that women aren't important. Women are very important. Women are very important to the successes of our lives, right? But the important thing that we need to focus on is the mirror. Because if the reflection looking back at you ain't right, if it ain't right, then everything around you will be wrong, right? So we got to be able to focus on that reflection and get that reflection right, right? Because we can look in the mirror and we can see what's wrong with us, right? We can see the things, we can see the blemishes, we can see the scars, we can see all those things. But the day you can look in the mirror and just look at the man that's looking back at you is the day you're moving in the right direction, right? I do that every morning. I look myself in the mirror and I say, "Hey man, I love you, dog. If don't nobody love you, I do." Right? And it took me some time to get here. It took me a long time to get to this point, right? I'm 53 years old. I'll be 54 in May, right? And it took me some time to get to where I'm as confident and I'm as structure and I am in a place where I'm comfortable with me, right? Because I wore facade for a long time because I struggled with self-esteem, right? And that's a long story in itself, right? I'll get into that throughout the podcast where why I struggled with self-esteem and where my self-esteem just dipped down when I was a lot younger, right? So um, again, I just want men to have a place where they can come and go and talk and share and not worry about the words that they're using being weaponized against them, right? Because that's what winds up happening a lot of times. You can't say, man, I'm not feeling it, or I'm hurting right now, or I just want to cry, or you know, one of the gifts that my mom gave me, my mom passed in 2014, right? One of the gifts she gave me along the way was she used to always tell me, crying heals the soul, right? She used to always tell me, don't ever, if you feel some tears coming on, let them go. Just let them go. Let the tears come out. Let them, run down your face because holding tears in only makes the situation worse, right? It only makes the situation worse. And then you're holding on to whatever that emotion is, and it's becoming more bundled up inside of you, right? Now, I'm not a crier. I don't cry. Let me just make sure I'm saying that. But when I'm feeling the emotions of, if it's something to cry about, I will. I'll let it out. I'll, you know, I'm not gonna hold it back, because I know if I do that, then I'm just bundling those emotions up for them to explode on me another time, right? So um, I just want to be able to, I just want to be able to give men an opportunity to express themselves, talk about some of the things that's bothering them. And again, like I said, talk about some of the things that make them happy as well too, because those things rarely get talked about or they get celebrated or whatever. Like just be constantly in go mode. That's seems to be what our job is. Just go, 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 go all the time. Can't stop moving. Right. So I just want to be able to give men an opportunity. If you want to express yourself, if you want to say some things that you want to say and not be judged by it. And it don't matter what it is. Like if I don't have the answer, I'll find the answer. That's for damn sure. If I don't have the answer, I'll find it and I'll get it for you. I have a lot of people within my own personal circle that I can lean on and I can get information from. Like I'm in Atlanta, um, and I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people, and that's just um, based on how I move, right? Um, so if I don't have an answer for a question that you may have, oh look, it's just this stuff, right? If you just want to express yourself, if you just want to say something that you don't have an opportunity to say out loud, right? Man, this your platform right here. This your platform. You don't have to worry about being judged. You don't have to worry about anybody taking your words and tangling them up, turning them into something else. Like this it. This it right here. Uh, uh, most of the people that's live, most of the people that's on TikTok and on Instagram, like they very rarely use their own names. So, you can get this stuff out and not worry about somebody coming back and judging you later on. Right? So if you just wanna, just get something off your chest, if you just wanna say something, if you just wanna you know, if you just wanna scream and cuss, right? And not worry about being judged about it. Because I'm a cusser. Right? I ain't gonna lie. Like I have to work at not using those words because they're not always the best. They don't always get their point across when you're trying to have a serious conversation with people. So, I have had to learn over the last 20 years or so. You know, cussing ain't always the best way to rock and roll. Right? So, but if you just want to do a D'Angelo on there, you know what I'm saying? If you know that song, let's rock and roll. If you want to just get it off your chest, you know, I'm encouraging men to express themselves. I'm encouraging men to open up, to be free, and not worry about judgment based upon anything you have said or anything that you feel like may be held against you somewhere along the way, right? Because my purpose and my focus, and I really believe this is something, if you believe in a higher power, led me to do. Uh, because I struggled with some things early on in my life. I struggled with manhood. I struggled with um, making good decisions. I struggled with relationships. Right? I'm gonna tell you a funny story. My brother asked me the other day. Shout out to Darryl Davidson, my brother. My brother college crazy, but my brother said, "Man, you need to go to Columbia. You need to go to Columbia." I'm like, "Why? What's up with Columbia? Why do I specifically need to go to Columbia?" He said, "Man, 'cause we have a series of failed relationships, and we need to get you a woman that don't speak English." Woo! I couldn't do nothing but laugh. I couldn't do nothing but laugh. Right? So I'm not the sum. I'm not the sum or the whole of my failures, but I have used my failures to better myself every day. Right? I have used my failures to better myself every day. Everything has been a learning experience for me. Right? And that's how I want you men to take it. Any failed relationship that you may have been in, use it as a use it as a learning experience. Right? That's when you get in that mirror and you ask yourself, was I the best person I can be in this relationship? Right? Did I do everything I was supposed to do within this relationship? Right? Did I handle every situation the best way in this relationship? And that relationship doesn't necessarily have to be with your woman. That's with your friends, with your family. Because we take a lot of stuff and we apply a lot of things, and we have great expectations for people to handle things and to work in specific ways. Right? We do that a lot. We expect people to be the way we want them to be. Look, this is what it is. We expect us out of people, right? We expect us out of other people. If I'm going to be a good person to you, I expect you to be a good person. And that ain't how it goes. It don't work like that. As much as we would like for it to work that way, it don't work that way, right? And one of the greatest gifts that my parents gave me is not to expect anything from anybody, right? My mom used to say, you have to love people right where they stand because if they can do better, they would, right? Think about that. You have to love people right where they stand because if they can do better, they would. And the most powerful part of that statement is if they can do better, they would, right? If they can do better, they would. That's simple. Which means in most cases that they can't do better. So don't put so much faith into people. You know, don't expect people to handle situations the way you would handle situations. Just don't do it. Don't give people an opportunity to disappoint you and let you down. And I know that sounds easier said than done, right? Because when you extend your hand out to somebody, you expect them to grab, you expect them to grab your hand, right? What's going on? Y'all got to excuse me. I'm trying to on that. I don't know. I'll figure this out. I'll figure this out one day. I'll be a TikTok expert uh, coming up pretty soon here. Well, it looked like somebody was asking me to join the live. I don't know. But if that was the case, I'm not particularly in a place where I'm ready to start doing that yet. Unless it's my partner that helps me with this platform that I'm working on now. Me and Let's Chop It Up. Um, I'm going to be releasing podcasts periodically, probably once a week. Things that I feel are necessities, some things that I feel like we should be talking about, some things you just want to get off the chest. I think some things I just want to get off my chest. Because I'm going to do that too. I'm going to share my life. I'm going to be an open book about the things that I'm experiencing, that I'm going through in life. And hopefully, it will open up some doors and some ears to some other people, so they can feel comfortable about sharing these things as well too, right? Because a lot of times we experience a lot of the same things in our lives. It's just we very rarely feel like everybody is going through, or other people go through the same things we go through. In most cases, I think I still feel like it's isolated, and we're the only person that ever experienced it. Right? We're the only ones that ever go through this particular thing. But the good book says there's nothing new under the sun. Right? So I'm not going to be preaching. Right? I'm not that kind of dude. Right? But I believe. I'm a believer. I believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Right? Um, and because of my own personal experiences with it, not because of tradition, not because I was told, not because it was what I said, what somebody said I'm supposed to be doing. No, I had my own personal experience, right, where it was real for me. That lets me know that there is a higher power, right? I always say my big brother Jesus. That's what I say. Um, but I think it's a vitally important thing that men should have too. No matter what it is you believe, no matter what your life whatever you're dealing with, you need to have a higher power to believe in. You have something that you can believe in outside of yourself, right? You need to have something that you believe in, whether it's Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, like whoever. You need to have somebody that you believe, something that you believe in, right? To bounce, to talk to and bounce some things off, so you can get some clarity and some freedom about something. I think that's vitally important to have a relationship uh, with whomever you worship. I'm not gonna tell you who you should worship. That ain't my job. That ain't my job. That ain't my job to tell you who you should be talking to. That's not my job. What I have to do is present myself in a way that will make you curious enough to want to find out who I'm talking to. Right? That's just my thought process. Alex, but anyway, let me get into the subject. Excuse me. Excuse me. But again, I'm going to be sharing some of my own personal things, personal situations, life experiences, things that I have dealt with over my lifetime, and the answers that I got from those things, and how my life changed, and the good, the bad, all of that good stuff. Right? I'm gonna talk about it all because I want to be able to give men an opportunity to understand and know that you're not alone. You're not by yourself. You're not just somewhere. like we do when we from the job, pull up from the job, what we do? Sit in the car for 30, 45 minutes, right? So we decompress, right? Whether we are married or not, in a relationship or not, that's just something we do. Like the decompression of sitting in the car at home is a real thing. It's a real thing, right? So I'm going to be sharing my thoughts. I'm going to be sharing my experiences, and hopefully it helps somebody. Hopefully I can help somebody to, you know, to some freedom, right? Because the last thing I want to see is a whole bunch of I don't know if I can even say this on TikTok, but men taking their lives. Like in America, in the United States, men take their lives 3 times more than women. 3 times more than women, right? The numbers are ridiculous, right? They are absolutely ridiculous. And I wish I had those numbers right here in front of me because I want to repeat them correctly. But the the number of men that actually take their own lives is astronomical. It is ridiculous. And it's something that most people probably wouldn't believe because, again, it's not something that people would even make a big deal about because it's something that happened to men, right? And we don't really focus on stuff that happened to men, right? I was watching a clip today. This lady said, God, dog, I forgot the name, I forgot my man's name. It's my mind just that fast. But he said, you can tell in America the difference between how men are looked at and how women are looked at based upon Father's Day and Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day is celebrated like a real holiday. Like it's damn near close to Christmas and Christmas and New Year's Eve and Thanksgiving, right? It's you know if you don't recognize Mother's Day, there's something wrong with you. What people will say. Father's Day comes and goes, right? It just comes and goes. And he was saying basically you would understand, what men are dealing with or what they have or what they actually are experiencing in this in their lives based upon Mother's Day and Father's Day. And it makes perfect good sense, right? Now, one thing I have done with my own children throughout the years is I have made sure that they looked out for their mother, right? Because moms are important. My mother was very important to me before she passed, and I'm still mourning her, right? Um, but I make sure they look out for their mother. All my make sure my children look out for their mother. Excuse me. But when it comes to Father's Day, yeah, you better come in here and say something. You better do something. You better tell me how much you love me, how much you appreciate me, how much you know, how much I'm important to you. You know, I don't close my mouth about that. I don't. I expect my children to come to me and say thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate your sacrifice. I appreciate all the things you taught me. I appreciate all the things you gave me. Right? I talk to my kids about those things regularly because I have a son and I have a daughter. I have 2 daughters and a son. And I constantly talk to my son about being a man and making decisions, standing on your decision, whether good or bad. But I also talk to my girls about things to expect or how to love on a man, right? And I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy. But I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna share something, y'all, because I said I'm gonna be honest about everything. Right? I said I'm gonna be honest about everything, and so I'm gonna share something with you all that's watching and paying attention right now. Something that I talked to them about, that I told both my daughters, my daughter 22 and a daughter 20, and I told them that I'm going to teach them how to be wives. Right? I'm going to teach them about the things that men expect, so that when that man that comes and courts them, and and maybe eventually one day wants to marry them, they'll know what to look for. They'll know what a man looks like in front of them, even if he's the beginning of a man. Because my daughters are young, 20 and 22. My daughters are young. They would know what the potential are for them to make the decision whether or not to be in a relationship. Right? And I know that sounds crazy. How can a man teach a woman, teach girls how to be wives? Right? So there are certain aspects of teaching my daughters how to be a wife that I am not going to do. Right? The sexual aspect of it, I'm not even touching that. I ain't going nowhere near that. 'Cause that's only a small percentage of what it means to be a husband or a wife. Right? Although it's very, very small, it's very, very important. But I'll leave that up to their mother to talk to them about. What do I talk to my daughters about? As a man, I talk to them about expectations of, well, how what to expect from a man, like how he should be treated, how he should be partnering, how he should be engaging with you and asking you questions, right? The things that make you a good partner, not just somebody, that say I got a husband. No, somebody that makes you a good helpmate, right? Those are the things that I talk to them about, right? Um, like specifically, um, I tell both my daughters when they go out on dates, take cash with you, right? Take some cash with you. One, because you should not expect a man to pay for your dinner, right? Don't don't expect him to pay for your dinner, even though he may have invited you out, and that's typically in tradition what men are supposed to do, to pay for the dinner when you go out, when you ask a woman to go out on dinner. But I always say take some cash, right? And when the bill comes and he reaches for the bill, cool. You wipe the sweat off your forehead, cool. Um, but when when he puts the bill down, put $20 down, put the tip down, leave the tip, leave the tip, right? So my daughter was like, "Why? Why should I leave the tip?" I said, "Here's why you should leave the tip, because I'm sure whoever you're dating right now at this age probably don't really have it like that, right? He's probably just building. He's probably just getting to a place where he's making real good money or money at all. If he's in college or just getting out of college, and what you leaving the tip, what that says to him is, oh shit, I got a partner. I got a partner. Because see, what you're doing at that point is you standing out beyond everybody else. You presenting yourself as a partner and not somebody that's just looking for a free meal, right? That's how you make yourself. That's how you make yourself stand out amongst the many, and you become the chosen, right? And just that little small gesture will change, right? And I'm not saying do it all the time. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's something that you got to do every time y'all go out to dinner or if y'all go out to eat, you know. But you know, it ain't gonna hurt you to do it every now and then. Present yourself to be a partner as he leads, because every woman wants a leader. Every woman wants a man to lead, right? Now, if he says no, I got it, don't worry about it, that's different. That's something different. But even if he says I got it, it doesn't mean that you didn't show yourself your value in yourself, right? It doesn't mean that. But you still, what you did was you showed him that you're a partner, and you just not out here looking for a free meal like most women these days. No, I'm not gonna get into that. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Just pretend like you didn't hear me say that. Sorry, sorry. This is about men. I told my partner, I told my partner that I wasn't gonna do the relationship stuff, and I was just gonna focus on men and talking about the uplifting of the male species, right? Getting our minds, our hearts, and our souls together. Because the better we are within our community, the better the community will be, right? Better the community will be. So just pretend like I didn't say, "Leave me here, Patrick." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I slip off on. Sometimes I slip off on the deep end. Sometimes I do, right? But I quickly bring it back. I didn't fall down the rabbit hole because I can fall down the rabbit hole, but I'm not going to do that. You know? And I know it's very easy to get into those conversations, uh, just for clicks and views and stuff like that. But I don't really care about the clicks and views. I'm gonna use social media as it was intended to do, right? For it to be, um, for you to be able to reach a lot of people from your home at one time, right? Uh, it said, turn down my phone, turn down my phone. Or was I talking loud? Okay, because my voice does project. Um, but yeah, I'm going to use social media as it was intended to be used, right? To get to a lot of people from you know, from my home, right? Because I'm at the crib right now, um, and I just want to be, I just want to be an inspiration. I just want to be a light. I just want to be an open book to other men so that we can get the freedom that we need to get. Think about it like this. Um, think about it this way, man. Um, you know, you know how women, you know how women have their ability to express themselves to their other friends, um, and they can get this stuff off their chest, and talk about the things that's important to them, whether it be small or big. I want us to have, and I know that seems like I know it seems like it's soft. That seems soft. I get it. I get it. It seems soft, but if it's going to prevent you from losing it, if it's going to prevent you from swinging on somebody, if it's going to prevent you from cussing somebody out at the red light, if it's going to prevent you from taking your own life, I'm here. I'm here. And I'm just a regular old guy. Let me express that. Let me express that. I'm just a regular old guy. I'm just a regular old guy. I ain't nobody. Well, I am somebody. I'm not famous. I haven't wrote any books. I haven't wrote any songs because I can't sing. A little bit, but I can't sing. So I'm not a football, basketball, baseball, soccer player, none of that. I'm just a regular old 9 to 5 working guy. That's what I do. Right? I go to work. I come home. Uh, I'm actually single right now. I don't have anybody significant in my life, and that's good because I'm still shedding some things off of me as well right now too. Um, that I feel like if I was dating somebody, I'm not really sure. Um, I'm not really sure how effective the dating would be, right? Um, because of I'm not. I'll talk about that. But again, I'm just a regular old guy. I got a job. I work. I come home. I work out in the morning. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. That was terrible. Um, between I go to work. I work out. I eat right. I do all the necessary things. I'm in the process of my life right now. I am shifting. I'm turning the corner on everything that I'm doing. I'm reading more. I'm reading more books. I'm studying more. I'm trying to become more proficient in my conversations. I'm trying my best to eliminate um, a lot of stuff from my life that's not necessary. Um, you know, anything that's not necessarily healthy for me, I'm working on it. I'm a big cigar smoker, so I'm trying to eliminate the cigars. I actually love um, Suve Grand Marnier, and if you don't know what it is, it's the blue label Grand Marnier. Absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. But I'm trying to eliminate those things, right? So I'll share this with you too. So September September 25. Matter of fact, I think it was September. Yeah, like September the 13th or the 14th. I went to put some clothes on and I couldn't get them on. Couldn't get them on. And as you see, I love Ralph Lauren, right? Like I pretty much wear Ralph Lauren every day. Um, but I went to put some clothes on for an event that I needed to go to, and I couldn't get it on. It was looking terrible. It was looking terrible on me. My blazer wasn't fitting right. Nothing was fitting right. It was just my shirt, my bow tie. I couldn't get my bow tie together right. It was terrible. Um, and I said from that point, that day, I said, okay, I got it. So let's just say the 14th. September 14th, I got on the scale. I was 315 pounds. I'm actually 5'11". Uh, I was 5'11", 315 pounds. Just way, way too heavy for my height. Way too heavy for my height. Got on the scale last week. Um, changed my eating. Drinking more water. Working out more. Everything is moving in the direction that I want to move into. And got on the scale the other day, and it said 265 pounds. I got a long way to go. I got a long way to go. And I was proud of the success that I had. And that was for me. That wasn't for nobody else. That was for me. People gave me some pats on the back. Said, oh man, you sure look good. You must be moving like people are, responding to the weight loss because they can see it in my face and my neck. Like, been a long time since I seen my neck. Sorry about that. I knocked my studio down. Yeah. It's been a long time since I seen my neck. And somebody actually somebody actually said that too. What neck? You got a neck? I was like, yeah, I do. I have a neck. I haven't been this small in a long time, right? But I still have a long way to go, right? And that's something else I want to do too. I want to encourage men to be healthier, right? I encourage men to be healthier, and that was another thing that pushed me toward it um, I was suffering from some health some health things um, prior to me not being able to fit in those clothes. Right? Um, some things that I needed to change, some stuff that I needed to make better in my life. My son came to me, my oldest son, his name is Junior, and he just turned 33. I know I got a son that old. Right? I don't look much over 33 myself, but he came to me. He was like, "Dad, hey man, whatever you need to do, you fix all this stuff going on. You need to fix it. We don't know what we're gonna do without you around. We need you around." That kind of hit home with me when he said that. I was like, "You're right, you're right. I gotta change some things in my life." Right? My kids are my life. I love my kids. Uh, I love my kids. My son and both my daughters. They are my world. So I have to do everything possible to make sure that I'm around for them. Right? And that's man stuff. Right? We got to make sure we're around for our kids. We got to make sure that they have the necessary tools and things that they need to survive in life. Right? One of the things that I told my son, he was in college, I said, you have to get to a place to where I'm not saving you and I'm helping you. Right? He was going through a series of things in his life, and I was continuously having to come and rescue him, rescue him, and rescue him. And nothing like not that it was anything bad. It was just typical stuff. Typical stuff kids, young men get into. Right? He wasn't selling drugs or making babies or doing anything like that. He was just on the path trying to focus. And I think that's a vitally important thing that we have to do for our children. We have to teach them to move into a place where we are healthy and not saving, right? Coming for advice instead of whipping out the checkbook, right? Uh, but I don't think I'm always going to give them a check out for my daughter, a checkbook out for my daughter. Good Lord, they just don't stop. But uh, all my kids are independent. My daughters, they share an apartment together, and they actually had it good because I travel for work, so I'm really not home very much. They had the whole house to themselves, and I was paying the bill. I didn't ask them to contribute on any of the bills. They just was here, and I travel for work. But they understand the importance of that too. They understand the significance of. Uh, so they'll get it, right? Let me go through this real quick. So they'll get it, right? The conversation of most things we get into a lot about are about a woman wanting a man to pay, a woman wanting the provider and protector and security part of relationship things that go on between a man and a woman. My daughters are going to get that. They're going to understand and they're going to appreciate, you know, if they are fortunate enough to get married, because it's looking real slim out here in these streets. I don't really know if they're going to find some suitable suitors. I don't know. I don't know. It's real slim out here in these streets. But they will understand that, and they won't be entitled. They won't feel entitled by um, a man paying the bills for them and providing the protection for them because they have experienced it being here with me. And let me explain to you how. So I'm gone basically Monday through Friday. I come home on Fridays or maybe I come home on Saturday morning. But they understand what my expectation is when when they were here at my home. Keep the house clean, keep your room clean, keep the bathrooms clean. I don't want to come in the house. There's dishes in the sink, a clothes bag full of clothes. The bathroom looked like a bomb went off in there. Like, I need for y'all to make sure you're taking care of my home because I'm providing this roof over your head. I'm keeping these lights on. I'm keeping the gas on, and I make sure there's food in that refrigerator. So your payment to me is making sure my house is in order. Right? They understand that right now. They understand that. So if they are fortunate enough to find a man that tells them, they can stay at home and they don't have to work, and he's going to provide 100% of their lifestyle. Oh, they got it. They got it. It won't be any entitlement. It won't be any unappreciated movements or thoughts or none of that. No, they got it. They understand. I made sure they understand. And that was also one of the things that I talked to them about too. Is teaching them how to be wives. Right. That's something that they can learn about being a wife. It's not a slave. You're not being a slave. But your payment, when you receive a service, you expect payment. Right. When you provide a service, you expect payment. Right. So if I'm providing a roof over your head, if I'm providing lights, gas, water, food, whatever it is, all the essentials, if I'm providing that, then your payment back to me is making sure that I understand that you appreciate it. That's your payment back to me. Right? You say, hey man, hey, I appreciate you. Hey, Double D, man, what would I do without you? Oh man, like that's how you pay, that's how you repay the person that's providing and protecting you, right? And we talked about this the other day, right? And I know I'm kind of jumping around, and I don't want to lose focus on what I was talking about, but we were talking about this the other day, me and my partner, Big Cam. We were talking about providing protect and secure, and what that means, and what that term, what those three words that turned into, right? It doesn't mean what it used to mean back 20, like 10, 20, 30 years ago. It doesn't mean that now, right? That's something quick to come up. It comes up quick within relationships, right? God dang it, I said I wasn't going to do. I said I was not going to do relationships. Oh, but I'm in it now, so I'm going to go ahead and finish. So, provide and protect does not mean today what it used to mean, right? First of all, it doesn't mean what it used to mean because circumstances and situations were very different back 20, 30 years ago. Right? Women weren't able to make the kind of money that they're making right. There wasn't an equal footing for women than it is today. Right? Uh, Women still make, I think it's 70 cents less than men, but that's better than $1.70. It used to be more than that. Right? So provide and protect does not mean what it used to mean back in the day. Like women are making way more money these days. They are especially black women. Black women are the most educated group of people in the United States. Right? They have the most degrees, the most masters. Like they are the most educated people, group of people in America. Right? So provide and protect has taken on a whole nother. It's taking on a whole nother form. So today, what provide and protect means is okay. We have detected inactivity during your computer application. This puzzle. Okay, sorry about that. It made me do some puzzle. I guess that's something you had to do on TikTok. Yeah, I had to do the puzzle. Got it. So provide and protect today means um, his money is his money, her money is her money. That's what it means. No, his money is her money, and her money is her money. That's what provide and protect means right now. It means I, if I was married, this is what it would mean today. If I was married, and as I stated before, I travel all week long. I'm going from Monday to Friday, sometimes Monday to Saturday. If I am gone all week long and I come home, my responsibility is my responsibility for me. I have to make sure the house is taken care of. Now, my wife can go to work all week, come home, and make her money and put her money where she want her money to go. But my money is for the house. Now, I'm not saying this is how it is. I'm just saying that's what providing means these days. Right? I have to make sure she's okay and that these bills are paid. I have to make sure she's protected and the lights on. I have to make sure that she's secure and there's food in the refrigerator. Right? That's my job. That's what providing means today. It does not hold the same weight as it did once before. Before it was very, 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 very different. It was more or less about uh, how can I say this without going too far with it. It was more or less about taking care of the household and the woman seeing about the man, making sure he was okay. Like our grandfather, and like my father, you know, there something switched, some changed. There was a hard left turn somewhere. Things went haywire. Expectations and entitlements became the new topic of conversation. But again, men, those are things we can change. We can fix those things. We can change all those things. We can fix them. We just lay it down up front. Tell them up front, hey, look, especially, listen, especially if you over the age of 40, right, and you are in your career or you make a decent amount of money. No, let's just keep it like this. If you're in your career, right, because like I just said, women had the most college degrees, black women had the most college degrees, black women had the most master's degrees. Like, let's just keep it right there. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it 100. If you are making that type of money, and I'm making that type of money, and you are over the age of 40, and you still looking to date somebody to take some off of your plate, you are a failure as a person. I'm just gonna keep it a book. You're a failure. You're a failure. You have failed at adulting. If you're still expecting a man, if you over the age of 40, if you're still expecting a man to come into your life and take your bills away from you, ma'am, you are a failure. And it's not my job as a man to get you past that. That ain't my job. That's some of the things you got to figure out on your own. Same way I had to figure it out on my own. Same way nobody was coming to save me, right? Nobody's gonna come save you. And that's what I teach my daughter. I teach my daughter that every day. Self-sufficient. You can be a partner and be self-sufficient. You can be a helpmate and be self-sufficient. You can. But if you over the age of 40, I can't express this. I can't express this enough. If you a woman over the age of 40, and you still expecting a man to come and pay your bills, you are a failure. You have failed at adulting. You have failed at adulting. And I don't have any sympathy for you. I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel like it's my responsibility to come and save you. I don't feel like any of those things. Because we can't partner because you aren't good with money. We can't put things in place because you aren't good with money. You're 40 years old. You still talking about a man coming to pay your bills? Woo, Lord have mercy. What is we doing? What is we doing? What is we doing? But men, you have to be able to recognize those things. You have to be able to recognize when you have found a grown up. And I have a very distinct definition for a grown up. And it applies to a man and a woman. You are simply a grown up because you're no longer um, a teenager or adolescent. You are just grown up by age. Right? You can no longer call you a child because 20, 30, 40 years old. You just a grown up. That's all you are. You're just a grown up. Now, an adult, I have a very different view of adults. And that goes for men and women. Like, I'm not just beating up men, but if you're a man, if you're 40 years old and you're struggling to pay your bills, you are a failure. You have failed. Look, that pendulum swings both ways, man. It swings both ways. Yeah, I know it's rough out here and jobs are scarcities and like I get it. I understand it. I get it. Trust me. I get it. I get it. But at some point in your life, you should have somewhere along the way, you should have made some distinctive changes in your lives. Like you can't be looking around for somebody to save you. And that's one thing I make sure that I'm teaching my children in this generation. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not looking for somebody to come and save us. Like, we're gonna take we're gonna take these shots. We're gonna take these blows to the head, to the gut. We're gonna take good shots. We're gonna get up off their cameras and we're gonna keep moving. Dad ain't gonna never leave them hanging, you know. But man, we're gonna make better decisions. We're gonna learn how to make good decisions. We're gonna learn how to live with the decisions that we make, whether good or bad, and learn from the good ones and learn from the bad ones. What can I do better next time? How can I succeed better next time? That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about real stuff. We're gonna have real conversations, and hopefully, this is hitting home with some people, and that it's actually making a difference. And you can actually take a long look at yourself in the mirror and not turn away because something that I just said. Right? Don't feel bad about it. If you're 40 years old and you're struggling, you look at somebody to come pay your bills. Listen, there's no greater time than right now. Right now, you can make a change right now. You can make a difference right now. You can do something different right now. Get a book. Talk to some people that understand money. Talk to, get you around some people that understand how to maneuver in particular situations. Right? Men, let's do that. Let's find some people that don't mind sharing information. Right? Let's do that. Let's do it. Let's make better decisions because when men are better in the community is better. And I'll say this, and I've been saying this from the beginning. I'll say this now, and I'm gonna say it again. Just because I'm talking to men and I'm trying to get men to be better, it does not mean I'm taking away anything from women. Right? Women are very, very vital pieces um, to the cog of what we're trying to accomplish. Right? They're very vital pieces to the puzzle that we're trying to put together. Right? And I would say if I had to give an analogy of what a woman is to a puzzle, a woman would be all the corners to the puzzle. You can get all four corners to the puzzle, you got it. It's completed, right? And a man is all the pieces in the middle. If you understand the analogy, right? So putting the pieces together in the man is what creates the picture, or whatever that thing is. The puzzle is created, right? And sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy, you know. But the man is the pieces in the middle, the woman are the corners. The corners hold everything together, right? So, um, I don't insult women. I don't put women down. I don't do that. I have daughters. I have two girls that I'm trying to uplift. And I'm trying to make into outstanding women and wives, hopefully. So I don't talk about bashing women. I don't bash women. It's just not something I do. I'm more focused on building men. Let's build together. All right. Let's be all we can be, as they say in the armed forces. Let's be all we can be. All right. So I'm probably gonna be doing this. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really sure yet how soon I want to do it. Today was just kind of impromptu, and I appreciate everybody who jumped in live on TikTok. Again, I'm just kind of getting to this getting into this part of social media, understanding how TikTok Live works, right? And I'm gonna be transparent with you, right? Because when I used to kind of scroll through, it'd just be people sitting on there like doing nothing. Um, Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you for the love, like that. And I was like, hey man, hey, hey, if you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. But that's how I felt. I felt like it was silly. I felt like TikTok Live was silly, man. It was just something silly. But once I kind of understood that it could be used for good and not evil, um, one of my partners said, "Man, you should do it." Because I had these conversations a lot with my friends. Like I'm always constantly talking about how men can be better, how we can be better at what we do, how we can be better fathers, how we can be better boyfriends and husbands and uncles, cousins. Like I'm always talking about this. It's not something that's out of my purview. Like if you know me, you know I'm always on the side. I'm always on the side of me. I'm always gonna make sure we holding ourselves accountable, that we're doing the things that we need to do. Right? We're not gonna blame anybody else for things not working out the way they're supposed to. Like some things are out of your control and you can't control. We worry about the controllable. We worry about the things we can control. Our minds, our hearts, and our spirits. That's what we can control. We can control what we put into our minds. We can control what comes out of our heart. We can control the feeling of our spirit. We can control those things. Those are the things we can control. And the better we get at controlling those three things, the better the world will be. The better our communities will be. The better our families will be. And the better the reflection looking back at you will be. When we can learn how to control our mind, our heart, and our spirit. Because those are the three most essential things that we need to be valuable. Those three things are those the most like the most valuable things that we can have. Our minds, our hearts, and our spirit. If all three of those things are in sync, man, you talking about winning. You talking about winning on a whole nother level, right? We talking about winning on a whole nother level. And all three of those things are in sync. You win it on a whole nother level. We're getting the respect that we do, right? And not just respecting other people, but you're respecting yourself. You're respecting that reflection in the mirror. Because when you can respect the reflection in the mirror, it don't really matter to you about how other people feel about you. And it took me some time to get there. I'm one of them people that struggle with that, right? I struggle with that. I'm to a place right now, man. Let me tell you something. My partner called me the most arrogant person in the world, and I don't necessarily see it as arrogant. It just took me a long time to get this kind of self confidence, right? I speak my mind and I say the things that I want to say, and I don't say things to I don't say things to disparage anybody else. It's just not me. I don't talk down on people or anything like that. But I'm gonna tell you how I feel because it took me some time to get here. I took a lot of stuff from a lot of people along the way, which made me, less than, right? Looking for situations to make me better instead of looking inside to make me better, right? Depending on depending on my relationship with the Almighty to make me better, right? I searched for a relationship to make me better. It was not a woman's responsibility to make me better. It was my responsibility to make me better. It was my responsibility to stand on my own two feet. That was my responsibility. I'm looking for somebody. There was a time in my life, and I'm looking for a woman to check mark me to say I'm okay, right? I ain't in that space now. And it took me some time to get here. I had to fight through some things. I had to do a whole lot of self work. I had to do a whole lot of self work. I had to do a whole lot of looking in the mirror, staring myself in the face, talking to myself as I talk to the Almighty. I had to do a lot of work on my own, right? And I have a therapist now, and I'm ashamed to say it. I do. I have a therapist now, but I only got the therapist because there was a piece of door that needed to be unlocked, right? That I couldn't unlock, that I can't unlock. And that's why I got the therapist so that I can unlock this last thing. Because I didn't walk through a bunch of them on my own. And it took some time, man. It took some time, time, and struggle, and heartache, and disappointment, some divorces, some lost relationships, some lost friendships. You know what I mean? It took a lot, man. It took a lot. And that's why I'm in this space that I'm in right now to help men because I know how hard it is to travel down this road and feel like you don't have anywhere you can go. You feel like you don't have anybody else to talk to because when you share certain things, what wind up happening is the words wind up getting weaponized and used against you, right? 'Cause that's a lot of times what happened to me. And I said that at the very beginning. You can't express yourself without your words somehow or another coming back fighting you. And you wind up apologizing for and you just trying to express yourself and get some things off your chest, right? So my goal with this live, with this podcast is I want men to have a place where you can be free. You can express yourself. You can talk about some of the things that's on your heart. And don't worry about being judged. Don't worry about how somebody is going to respond to you. If I don't have the answer, I'll get it. I promise I will. I know a lot of people. Excuse me, I was on my lip. Sorry about that. If I don't have the answer, I'll get it. I know where to go. I know who to call. I know who to reach out to. Right? And if they don't have the answer, they'll point me in a direction where I can get it. You heard me? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna build this community of men. We're gonna talk about all the things that we need to talk about. We're gonna share. We're gonna give some of our stories. We're gonna give some of our impressions of what we believe life is about. We're gonna do that. That's what we're gonna do. And that's what I'm here for. This is honestly, I believe, when I finally got over that hump and I got to a place of self confidence and I know who I am as a person. Um, you know, I feel like this is where the Almighty has led me. I really feel like that. I grew up in the church. Like I'll give you another quick story. So I grew up in the church. My father was a pastor for over 30 years. Right? So I seen the good and the bad in the church. Um, and when you're looking at the church from behind the pastor, you get to see a lot of things. You get to see a lot of things in the church. You get to see the good and the bad of the church, the expectations of people within the church, right? You get to see other churches. You get to see myself. Um, so I just have a different viewpoint on how to deliver my message. Right? I never wanted to be in the pulpit. That's not something that I have ever wanted to do. Mainly because, like I said earlier, I like to cuss, right? And I'm working hard and not cussing, right? I work very hard on it because I know cussing, using profanity in most cases, you'll lose your people with a lot of cuss words following behind good message, right? So I work hard at that. I work hard at not having a potty mouth, as they say, a sailor's mouth. So I never wanted to be in the pulpit. Uh, but one thing my mom had always told me, she always told me, you're gonna be in front, you're gonna be in, in front of a lot of people. And this was during the time when I was struggling with my own self esteem. When I was struggling with me. When I was struggling to look in the mirror, right? She told me, she's like, you're gonna be in front of a lot of people. So I'm gonna take this platform and we're gonna make it do what it do. We're gonna build, grow, we're gonna share, we're gonna talk about stuff that me and need to talk about, right? That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna become the kind of man that we don't mind looking at in the mirror. That's what we're gonna do. Young and old, right? I'm 53. I'm 54 in May. And it's taking me a serious if I'm gonna be honest, it's taking me 15 years to get to this place. 15. 15 years. Every year got better. Every year got better. Every year got stronger. Every year I learned more. Every year I became a little bit more, I became a little smarter. Every year I gained a little bit more confidence. Every year I got stronger and stronger and stronger. Every year. Right? So this is where we are right now, and this is where we're gonna talk together. I strongly believe this is where we're gonna go. And what we're gonna do. And another reason why I'm doing this is because there are a lot of celebrities who have podcasts. There are a lot of celebrities that have podcasts, basketball players, football players, movie stars, like TV stars, whatever. But I always believe like their perspectives come from a much different place than the regular guy. Their lifestyles are very much different than the man just paying the gas, the light, the water. It's a very much different lifestyle, right? Um, so I just wanted to have an opportunity to talk to a regular guy because there are more regular people in this country, regular men in this country, getting up every morning, putting their pants on, putting their work boots on, going out working. There are more regular men in this country than there are celebrities, basketball players, football players, any of those. Uh, like there are regular men in this country that it's just looking for an outlet or looking for a way um, not to be judged, looking for some appreciation, right? So this was my purpose was just to talk to regular men. Let's just talk to regular men. Regular everyday people who get up and go to work, even if they're on night shift. You know what I mean? You got a night shift job. I used to work night shift too, right? And that's a thankless job. Being a man is a thankless job. Let me say that. Let me say that. Being a man is a thankless job. The expectations of you are far greater than anything in this world. You are expected to be a bank, a chauffeur, a ear, a cook, That's, in some cases, a hairstylist, a barber. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like the expectations, a therapist. You got to be able to just do a whole bunch of stuff, even if you don't know how to do it. You got to be able to do it. You got to at least know something about it. Because if you don't, you're not a man, right? That's what they say. If you don't know something about everything, then you're not a man. Which is the most stupid, most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. I just don't understand. That's the most stupid. Anyway, I'm not going to be sidetracked. But one of my favorite quotes is uh, "Jack of all trades, master of none." And some people think that's an insult when you say, you're a jack of all trades and master of none. Right? If you think about that phrase and what it means that you know a little bit about everything. You're not a master of anything, which is fine. But knowing a little bit about everything is probably a little bit more valuable to you than just being a master of one thing. Right? You feel me? So, man, we've been on here. I've been on here for an hour and 20 minutes. I didn't even realize I could talk that long. Man, I tell you, man, I done came a long way, man. Just thinking about myself and where I came from myself, man, and how I even got to this place in my life, man. This is like I just I just pat myself on the back, man, because man, it ain't been easy. I'm gonna say that it hadn't been easy at all. And just because my father was a pastor, my mom was a first lady, and I grew up in the church, people would think that my life was so great, grand, and people always tend to think, like church preachers' kids have a best life. That ain't necessarily true. I done been through things. I've been through things. I've been through things. And what I understand is the stuff I went through. I remember my dad preached a sermon about the stuff we go through is not for. It wasn't for me. It was for somebody else. It's to help somebody else get through their struggle. It's somebody else to help somebody else get through their downfall. Right? And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. And I call myself a jack of all trades. Master of none, which is cool. Right? I get up in the morning. I don't have a problem looking in that mirror, man. I don't. I look in that mirror in the morning. I say, "Hey, man, you did it. You're here. You know, we still trucking along every day. Every day ain't peaches. Ain't peaches and pound cake, as my dad would say. Every day ain't peaches and pound cake. Um, but you know, I have a different perspective on trials and tribulations. Right? I have a very different perspective on when things come my way that I have to deal with. Right? I count it, something that I need to get out of this. God trying to get something out of me. Almighty trying to get something out of me. He's trying to unlock something inside of me, right? So that I can be better, so that I can provide an answer to somebody else that needs help. That I just went through, right? So, man, we're gonna rock out. Um, we're gonna rock out, man. We're gonna build this platform, man. We're gonna build this community. We're gonna have all these regular men in this country standing up, looking in the mirror, excited about what they see, looking back at them. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build these men. We're gonna build these men, and this is the last thing we do. Because I honestly believe this was the Almighty. Took me through those 15 years. It probably was a little longer than that. Took me through, you know, dragged me over the coals, dragged me over the coals, beat me down, and took all my money, and just dragged me through the mud and, the, and anything that you could think of, right? to get me to where I'm at, where I am right now. Right? 'Cause again, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna keep saying this. I'm just a regular guy, man. I'm a regular job, a regular guy with a regular job, you know. But I love where I am in my life right now. I love where I'm at in my life right now. I love where I'm at in my life. Man, you know these greens, fruits, goodness gracious. Yeah, but I love where I'm at in my life right now. God has really, really, like, my relationship. I always call him my homeboy. Like, that's what I talk to God like I'm talking to my partner. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, you know, I talk to him like I'm talking to my partner because I have a relationship. And I think that's one of the most important things you can do. Have a relationship with God, you know, so that your ear can become sensitive when he's talking to you. That was something else that I was able to pick up along the way. A good relationship, and then my ears became sensitive when he was talking to me. Hey, Double D, Double D, Double D. Hey, he called us. Hey, it's my dude. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. He called me Double D. Yeah, yeah. He called me Double. That's what I hear when we talk. Double D. Yes, sir. Yeah, but man, we've been on here for an hour and 30 minutes, man. Uh, like I said, I'm still trying to learn this TikTok, learn how to TikTok, learning how to TikTok, learning how to TikTok. But I'm live on Facebook. I'm live on Instagram. I'm live on YouTube, and I'm gonna use this platform to touch as many people as I can, and touch as many men as I can, and women. Let me say this while I'm talking about this. Along the way, while we grow and get better, pay attention, pay attention to what's actually happening and what's actually going on in the transformation that's going to be taking place in front of you, right? Because I believe this will be, beyond a shadow of a doubt between my heart. I believe this. I believe that's what's going to happen. Like it's going to be a transformation, uh, you know, of men, right? And if it's only one man that I touch, man, I did my job. I'm satisfied with that because that means he's going to touch one person, and then that means he's going to touch one person, right? I'm trying to get the people that the Almighty said, Double D, these are the people I want you to talk to. He gonna pay attention. He gonna pay attention. He gonna pay attention. He gonna pay attention. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking to. I'm not trying to say the world. That ain't my job to say the world. My job is to touch the men that the Almighty sent me to. And we're gonna build this community as regular men with regular lives, doing regular things. All right? Because again, the mind, the heart, and the spirit, when they all in sync, everything works out the way it's supposed to. You're the best version of yourself. Your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Keep that with you. You get up in the morning. When you get up in the morning, just go stand in the mirror in the bathroom. Go stand in the mirror in the bathroom and say, my mind, my heart, and my spirit. My mind, my heart, and my spirit. Just say that. My mind, my heart, and my spirit. Just say that over and over and over and over and over to yourself. When those things are in sync, everything begins to happen the way it's supposed to. when you can control your mind, when you can calm your mind, remove the sensitivity from your heart, and let your spirit feel. You get it? Remove the clutter from your mind, remove the sensitivity from your heart, and let your spirit be filled. My mind, my heart, and my spirit. Those are the three most vital things that any man can have in control. When you can control, when those three things are in sync, I promise you, you're going to view the world in a whole different light. Okay? This your boy, Double D from the ATL. You know how we do. You know how we do. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. I want to be um, doing this as often as I can. Um, I don't really want to commit to anything in particular right now. Because I'm gonna jump on here as much as I can, and I'm gonna just we just gonna rap, we gonna chat. You know, I'm gonna learn how to bring some people up, let some people get some things off their chest. See, I almost cussed. I almost cussed, right? I almost cussed. I had to catch myself. I know you heard the little pause. I almost cussed right there. I told you, man. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I am. Um, but I'm gonna learn how to bring some folks up on TikTok. I'm gonna learn how to just join some people on Instagram and the same thing on Facebook. So hopefully you can get some men that want to come up and share. Like you just want to share some of your thoughts, and not worry about being judged, not worry about you know your thoughts being weaponized against you. Right? We know, men know, we all know that happens. We all know. That's why we don't really talk. That's why we don't really open up. That's why we don't really say a whole lot because when we do, our words get weaponized. But we're gonna get that mind so together. And we're gonna remove that sensitivity from that heart so much that that spirit gonna be filled that we're not gonna worry about our words being weaponized against us. My brother used to have a saying. My brother used to say, change your mind, change your life. Change your life, change your mind. Yeah, man. It pretty much says it all. Pretty much says it all. All right, man, we're gonna check out. I'm gonna get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. Um, I'm gonna be saying that a lot. Um, I'm gonna be saying that a lot because I do. I do. I love you. I love you with the heart of my father. I love you. So let's get it, fellas. Let's turn this life into something real. Let's make a difference. Let's make a difference in our homes and in our communities. Let's make a difference. All right. Remember what I said now. Remember what I said. Remember what we're gonna do. Every morning, you wake up, you go to the bathroom, you get ready to wash your face, you get ready to brush your teeth. All right. You say, my mind, my heart, and my spirit. Declutter my mind, remove the sensitivity from my heart, and feel my spirit. We're gonna do that every morning. That's what we're gonna do. Declutter my mind, remove the sensitivity from my heart, feel my spirit. All right. Peace out, people. I love y'all. Catch y'all on the next time.